The following is a paid presentation by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys, paid for by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys. The Siniard Law Show, answering your legal questions, featuring attorneys Tommy Siniard, Bart Siniard, and your host, Aaron Dacey. This is the Siniard Law Show.
Hello and welcome to the Siniard Law Show. We are in good hands with some of the best lawyers in America, literally. Tommy Siniard's been recognized by Best Lawyers in America for 31 consecutive years. His son Bart Siniard is following in his father's footsteps, recognized by Best Lawyers in America for the last 3 years. Tonight we're focusing on the topic of elder law. Tommy Siniard is here and introducing us to our expert this evening in elder law, Connie Glass.
Very proud and happy to have Connie, who I've known for so many years I can't say it because it would age us. But Connie is the gold standard, in my opinion, for elder law in the Tennessee Valley. She is a former instructor of elder law at the University of Alabama School of Law, which puts a crown on her head. And then after that, she came to Huntsville and was with TARCOG, the Area Council on Aging, as an ombudsman. That's a go-between between families and a nursing home administration. And she's a saint for doing that. And now she is in private practice at the elder law firm here in Huntsville on Pansy Street, and has done that for some years, advising families about elder planning. She does wills, trusts, estates, and we're very happy to welcome you here, my friend.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you so much for being here. I know there's so much information on this topic, and it's a very emotional one, that's for sure.
Certainly applies to all of us because we're all aging.
Mm-hmm. Or we have parents or loved ones too that we've got to look out for. So we look forward to hearing from you tonight, Connie. Thank you. Here on the Siniard Law Show, Tommy Siniard and Bart Siniard are offering you a wonderful and free opportunity to get your legal questions answered here on the Siniard Law Show every Sunday night. Siniard Law invites you to be part of the show by submitting your questions by phone or email. You can call 1-844-7000-LAW to leave a voicemail with your question, or you can email us at questions@siniardlaw.com. Tonight's legal tip of the week is knowing how to pick the right nursing home. And Tommy Siniard is joining us. Tommy, all nursing homes are not created equally.
No, there is a website that sort of grades nursing homes that is available. And really, people that are putting their loved ones in nursing homes have no real way to know what you're getting. So you should investigate a nursing home before you place a loved one there. And by investigating, I mean thoroughly, by internet searches, by going by the nursing home, by going not in prime time, not from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, the weekends, the third shift, and to see who's there and what it is they're doing. But qualify the nursing home like you're going to have one of your loved ones living there, because you're going to. And some of the most horrific things, we do nursing home negligence and abuse. And I would love to tell people that it's complicated medical mistakes that are made, but it's not feeding patients, it's not watering patients, it's bed sores for failing to turn them, it's terrible falls with broken bones because they're not properly assisted. It's the most mundane things in the world, and it kills people or maims them. And so Bart and I and our firm are very big on representing those who have victims, literal victims in nursing homes.
And just because you find the right nursing home doesn't mean that nothing's going to happen.
No.
So how can
So you got, the duty is on you. You know, I tell people who are putting people in nursing homes, you know, the squeaky wheel gets the most grease. You know, there's a lot of people in nursing homes have no one to come to see them. And those people are cast to the wayside. Only when the family is vigilant do you get close to the care that is required. And so you got to go see them. You got to go on nights and weekends. You got to go at times they're not expecting you to go. And you got to raise some cane when it's not going like it should.
How do you know, though, that they're not going to do something retaliate against your loved one if you are the squeaky wheel?
Well, of course, it's a crime. I'll let Connie go there.
Sure, and that is always the fear. My mom was in a nursing home towards the end of her life, and she would always say, "Oh, Connie, don't say anything." When you leave, I don't know what they'll do. So there is that fear, even though that may not happen. It certainly can, but the patients are always in fear that somebody's going to do something to them. Of course, there are criminal statutes against elder abuse, elder neglect, elder exploitation. But those kinds of cases are hard to prosecute because many times you have a victim who is incapacitated. They may have dementia. They may have had a stroke and they're confused.
Incapable of telling or speaking even. And
if they do tell, maybe perhaps somebody thinks they're making it up because they're confused. So they're hard cases. These are hard cases.
One thing about nursing homes that people don't realize is that the way nursing homes are private business entities to make money, most of them, with the exception maybe like a veteran's tut fan, for instance. But the way that they add to their bottom line is by being understaffed. There is no real policing or requirement of staff. So first of all, the staff is undereducated and underexperienced because they're cheaper. Some of these people, might have been working at Walmart the week before, and now they're hired to handle some of the most complicated medical problems. And there's not enough of them. You say it's a nursing home, you may have one RN for a whole wing, 36 people, and the rest are nursing assistants or LPNs, or somebody can get a certificate, in as little as 6 weeks. And there they are, and they mean well. It's not their fault. It's the corporation's fault that has understaffed the facility with people that are not competent, prepared, or educated enough to do the job.
So here's a little twist on this, and this is our next feature of the Siniard Law Show. We're reviewing local news stories from a legal angle, and this week we're talking about elder neglect. A Moulton woman was accused of exploiting and neglecting an elderly couple over the summer, and now criminal charges are pending. So Tommy and Connie, talk to us about this. So you don't go the nursing home route. You have an in-home caregiver. How do you protect yourself there?
That is an incredibly difficult scenario because in our post-COVID society, in-home caregivers are hard to come by. COVID devastated the long-term care industry with the COVID running through the nursing homes, running through staffing, people not wanting to come into homes and take care of people. So if you can find someone to come into your home, you're lucky. So you can't be too picky about who it is, and then you end up with someone who's simply there to endanger, exploit, take advantage of your loved one. So you can certainly avoid some of that by going through an agency that
vets the person.
They vet them, they train them, they're insured, they're bonded. So if something ends up missing, the company could be, their insurance could pay. But those are more expensive. Those caregivers are more expensive. So a lot of families choose someone who their Aunt Sue, who goes to church with them, recommended. And then you don't know who you're getting. And they're there with your loved one when they're the most vulnerable in their life.
What about cameras in the home? Could that be something?
People, Ring cameras.
That's legal.
Yeah, Ring cameras are real prevalent now. Nanny cams. But people don't always put cameras in areas like a bathroom.
Right.
Or somewhere where somebody would be undressing. And that, of course, it can be where abuse and neglect happen.
And what you're talking about is in-home care, which is extremely expensive, like 24 hours, maybe $30 an hour times 24.
It's the most expensive kind of care.
Times 30 days, only wealthy people can afford that. The alternative is a nursing home that is said to be nursing care, but there's not many nurses there. And, with understaffed people who are not ready for that heavy of a job.
Tough.
It's a Hobson's choice.
Tough stuff. So let's go on to some of the questions from our viewers. Our first question this evening comes from a viewer who says their loved one needs memory care. Take a listen.
My aunt has been on a mental decline the last few years, but she still lives alone at home. Her children, who are my cousins, really aren't helping her at all. I told them I think she needs to go to memory care and that it's not safe for her to live alone, but my cousins aren't doing anything about it. What can I do in this situation?
Excellent question. And this happens frequently, that some family members not doing what they should be doing as far as taking care of their loved one. So if you have another family member like this lady who called, she could, if she is so inclined and is willing to step in, petition the court to become a guardian for the person who's at risk.
No, that's a fiduciary role. It's a legal standing.
It is.
It's appointed by the court. It's vetted by the court.
It is.
So a guardian can do what someone can't do for themselves.
Correct.
You're the lawyer over the person, for lack of a better
yes,
way to say it.
A parent to a child is the way I say it. The incapacitated person's rights to make their own decisions, those rights are removed and given to another person.
The guardian.
The guardian.
And now what is a conservator?
A conservator is a similar role, just like you said, a fiduciary, but a conservator is in charge of the finances of an incapacitated person. So you have a guardian for the medical well-being, the person, and then you have a conservator for the financial side of things.
And then to get that, you still have to apply or file in the probate court and be appointed by the probate judge to serve in that fiduciary capacity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so you've got accountability to the probate judge.
Yes. But it takes being proactive to step in to make that happen so that you can remove a person from a setting where they're not safe and put them in a safer setting like a memory care.
So, Connie, I know among the things that you do powers of attorney.
I do.
And durable powers of attorney. And tell the listening audience, how is that helpful and what are they?
I do, as a part of a planning ahead process, we talk to our clients about what's going to happen if you become incapacitated, if you can no longer make your own personal decisions, your own medical decisions, your own financial decisions. Is there someone in your life that you trust who can be that decision maker for you? If there is, then you can go ahead proactively and give that person a durable power of attorney, both for financial and health matters, so that if you do reach a point in your life where you're not healthy, you can't make your own decisions, that you've already designated another person to do that.
Without a family member having to go to court and be appointed as a guardian or a conservator.
Absolutely.
So this document might be $300 to $750.
To save thousands.
Thousands upon thousands from having to have a court-appointed position.
Exactly.
And all that comes down to is I stay amazed at how much a little planning will save a lot of money and a lot of misery, and that's a big fraction of what you do.
Oh, absolutely. I see people every day who end up having to probate wills, and all they would have had to do is go down and put a beneficiary on a bank account, or put a beneficiary on a 401k, or name someone to be a guardian or a trustee for a minor child, and all of a sudden the minor child inherits, they can't inherit, we're having to go to court, get a conservator, you're spending thousands of that child's money.
So people, I mean, we know this, people are scared of lawyers for several reasons, one of which is I'm gonna walk in that door and it's gonna be hundreds, thousands of dollars for the first visit, the initial consultation. I know you charge, we don't for what we do, and I'm not dissing you.
I know.
But what is the charge for an hour of trying to sort out what people
Most
need?
lawyers charge an initial consultation fee unless they're personal injury attorneys who don't ever charge you a consultation fee. But usually most lawyers charge $300 to $400, but I will tell you, in our firm, when you come in to see me, if you retain me for service, you probably aren't going to pay a consultation fee because you're going to pay for whatever the service is you retained me for.
Oh, I see. That's good to know.
So the consultation would apply towards whatever that fee is. And I think that's the way probably most attorneys who charge consultation fees handle things.
No.
But I think we're pretty non-threatening. Lawyers are not threatening people.
But the public doesn't see it that way.
I know it. I know. I understand.
Most times people go to lawyers maybe when they close their home, and everything else is scary to them.
Stay with us. When the Siniard Law Show returns, we'll take more of your legal questions. The Siniard Law Show. We'll be right back.
Our firm, Siniard Law, we represent people who have been injured due to the negligence of somebody else
I think we separate ourselves by not only our experience, but our community involvement and our dedication to every client.
The people of North Alabama are very important to all of us because this is home.
We are a Huntsville law firm that cares about Huntsville and North Alabama. If you've been injured, call Siniard Law.
Welcome back to the Siniard Law Show. Now let's get to some more legal questions from our viewers. Tonight's question has to do with bed sores.
Hey there, my name is David. So my mom, she's been in a nursing home for about a year now, and she keeps getting bed sores. We've tried talking to the nurses about it. They keep telling us bed sores are just normal things that happen, and they're doing their best. I've talked to the administrator of the nursing home. I'm not getting much help there. I keep getting the runaround. I'm worried about these bed sores with my mom and them getting worse and leading even more to her decline. Is there anything that I can do legally to kind of help with this situation?
Well, David, you know, this is one of the sad realities of nursing home care. Your mother shouldn't have bed sores, period, the end. Bed sores occur, they're also called in a more medical terminology, pressure ulcers. And they occur when a person lays on a certain prominence like their hip bone, their coccyx, their elbows, their heels, without being moved at all. And what that does, that pressure causes there to be an absence of blood flow, and that in turn makes the skin become necrotic, or the layman's term is rot. And so these things develop from the inside out, and they're solely caused by the failure of the nursing home to turn your mother. There is a standard that requires a patient be turned every 2 to 4 hours. It relieves the pressure, it prevents the bed sore. So you've got a problem with your nursing home, and if your medical director says, oh, these things just happen, well, they do, but they shouldn't. They're preventable, absolutely preventable. That's why we do nursing home neglect cases. It violates the standard of care to allow a bed sore to form, and many times after that there's a failure to treat it, refer the patients for wound care, and failure to tell the family, and he continues to suffer an increased amount of sore.
So what other kinds of cases does your firm handle when it comes to elder abuse?
Well, we do the nursing home neglect and abuse. You know, I think we're one of a handful in North Alabama that does it right. It's in the area of medical malpractice.
The best firm.
Well, we take it really seriously, and we've had multiple 7-figure outcomes, and we hope that changes the course of how people are cared for. But inside of that realm of elder care there's independent living, there's assisted living, there's memory care, and then nursing home. Well, in independent living, the facility has the duty to say, oops, you shouldn't be in independent living anymore, you're at risk. And so someone's not capable of ambulation or bathing themselves or feeding themselves properly, needs to be moved to assisted living. Then there's a different set of rules and regulations as to what the facility is supposed to do for the patient. And many times they fail to do those things, which is help provide food, water, medications, exercise, and they've got duties to do that, and guess what? It doesn't always happen. Right. Memory care is a lockdown unit that's supposed to prevent people with bad memory, Alzheimer's, from eloping. That means wandering off the premises. We had a case 3 years ago where the memory care door did not shut. The lady wandered off in dead of January and nearly froze to death. It was preventable. They violated standard of care. We made a very significant recovery. That's all we've got at our disposal is the civil law weapon of recovery of damages. Money doesn't fix everything, Aaron.
Absolutely, and just the heartbreak of it is so difficult, so difficult. And it's important to plan ahead and, like you mentioned, dip in at the facilities and see what's going on.
I tell people, and I've told Connie this before, if what happens in nursing homes happened in daycares, there'd be a Mother's March on Washington.
Our society doesn't value elders really.
Yeah, Tommy and now Bard has been a champion for elderly people for many, many years. He started taking on these cases long before it was popular to do so. So,
well, thank you, Connie.
Their firm is really a champion for older people, and it takes all of us. I mean, it certainly takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to protect an elderly person.
And the demographics are just, there's going to be more and more and more and more and more people that are in need of these services.
These are definitely some serious issues in our society. Let's go to our next question from our viewer. The second question tonight is from a viewer who suspects their brother is stealing money from their father. Let's listen.
Hey, my name is Candido, and my brother has the power of attorney for my father. He has dementia. And I think my brother's stealing my father's money. He's spending a lot of it, and he doesn't have a high-paying job. So I don't know where he would get it from. I'm worried that my dad's money is being spent, and I just want to know what I can do about it.
So when someone has a power of attorney, Connie, they have the authority to go delve into someone's bank account?
They do, but it's a fiduciary role. So what that means is the agent in the power of attorney can't use the power of attorney to enrich themselves.
That's called a breach of fiduciary duty.
Absolutely. So if there is such a breach, if the person who holds the power of attorney is stealing money or using money for their own purpose and not using it for the elderly person, then the court can intervene. It's going to take court intervention because we can't make that person stop doing what they're doing. Only the court can do that. So the one who suspects the financial abuse or exploitation certainly can talk to an attorney and talk to the attorney about what their options are as far as going to court, having that power of attorney removed, getting someone else in place who's going to manage the finances for the elderly person rather than letting that person continue to enrich themselves.
And in a way, get an injunction from the current power of attorney.
The court can freeze the assets until it's determined whether or not there is inappropriate action.
The petition would be for a guardian
and a conservator.
And a conservator to be appointed for the ward or the elderly person.
Exactly. Or perhaps there's an alternate in the power of attorney who could step in.
Okay.
Many times when we prepare powers of attorney, we name an agent with an alternate person. So if the first person is acting incorrectly, they could be removed and the next person could step in. So there are several different remedies there.
So once again, that goes back to prior planning.
Prior planning, yep. Absolutely. And choosing the correct person to be your decision maker. Yeah, you don't want your kid who's filed bankruptcy 6 times managing your finances. They don't need power of attorney.
Connie, let's go back to what you were talking about on the prior planning. I think that's really important, and to know the timeline, especially if you have a family member's reaching a certain age, maybe you're noticing just a little bit of memory loss, maybe you have some friction within the family, like we were talking about, the power of attorney and that sort of thing. What is a timeline that a family should look into so that they can plan ahead, and what happens?
It's a great question, Erin, and I'm going to go back even further.
Okay.
I would suggest starting that planning before those things start happening, before families become at odds, and before you start noticing decline. Part of the planning for all of us, no matter what our age, no matter what our level of capacity is, we need to begin thinking now, what's that going to look like for me? What is my future going to look like when I can't make those decisions anymore? Tommy's firm handles a lot of accidents. Those happen in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And those can happen to anybody of any age. I've got a client now who's in his 20s who was in an accident. He's in the hospital and can't speak, can't move, can't talk, and no one has any authority to access his money to take care of him. So this can happen to anyone. So all of us need to be all of us who are adults need to be thinking about a will. What's going to happen to our assets after we're gone? What's going to happen to us if we become incapacitated? Power of attorney for finances, power of attorney for medical decisions. those end-of-life decisions, the living will. Do we want to be kept alive by extraordinary means? Do we want to be allowed to die naturally? And something that we've started doing in the last 4 or 5 years, a funeral directive or a planning for what's going to happen to your remains directive. You don't realize how many arguments happen over what's going to happen to mom when she dies. Is she going to be buried? Where's she going to be buried? Is she going to be cremated? So we can plan ahead with that by doing a directive in advance, directing what's going to happen to your remains. So all of those things need to be done while you still have capacity, and they need to be kept current with your life.
Let me jump in real quick.
Absolutely.
So people that die without a will, the state has to presume that the way that you want your property and assets will go is the way they declare it in the intestate.
Yeah, they've conveniently written a will for us. Yes.
Yeah, they've written the will, and it may not be close to what you wanted
Absolutely.
to do. And we've run into these situations where there are children of the deceased, and there is a second or third wife. Mm-hmm. Well, by the rules of intestate succession, the lion's share of the deceased assets go to the wife.
Plus anything held jointly with that person.
Right. And so the children, or the natural-born children of the deceased, get a pittance compared to wife number 2 or wife number 3.
Who may have children of her own.
Right. So the necessity of a will does away with the angst and anger that occurs without a will.
Absolutely. Put it in writing.
It seems like most people, I guess they feel like it's morbid, or they don't want to push their family member to talk about these difficult things.
Well, the last thing anybody wants to talk about, and I'm guilty of this, is my funeral arrangements, you know? I'm at the age where I need not just the documents, which I have thanks to Connie, but I don't have directives to my children about am I going to be embalmed, or am I going to be incinerated, or do I want to have a church funeral, or do I want to have a graveside funeral? Those are important things to put in place. Nobody wants to think about that, much less spend the money for the funeral home and the whatever. So that's hard subject to take on. You're facing your mortality.
Aaron, the greatest gift that somebody can give their family is planning ahead.
Yep.
So true, because you're under such distress.
Yeah, it's a gift for those you leave behind.
Mm-hmm. Thank you both so very much. Appreciate that. And next week, we're going to be talking about wrongful death claims, and we'll have another expert from your firm.
Barnes Hayward, who is a partner with us in our firm. He's just joined us this year. He's doing so well. He's not a pledge. He's been practicing 8 years, and he's steeped into the profession, and we're lucky to have him. Harrison Lane is also with our firm, and he's an associate, but he's making incredible strides that you could not expect out of a person with his years of experience. So we hope to have these guys on down the road, as well as other guests from the Tennessee Valley and South Tennessee.
Sounds great, and we're taking all kinds of legal questions. We do appreciate you joining us for the Siniard Law Show, and we do look forward to hearing from you. You can send your questions by email to questions@siniardlaw.com, or you can call 1-844-7000-LAW. We'll see you Sunday nights here on WAFF 48 at 10:35.
The preceding was a paid presentation by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys, paid for by Siniard Law Injury Attorneys.